In neuropsychology research, when they talk about the brain, they talk about the intelligent brain being a tight brain, and they talk about a creative brain being a loose brain. I've been reading up on this research and it's kind of blowing my mind, friends. I am finding that it's providing huge breakthroughs in my own creative practice. So I wanted to talk about it to you today a little bit. Hey, I'm Josie. I am an artist. I love color, process, and material. Also, I do a lot of reading. And when I say reading, what I mean is listening. I listen to a lot of stuff when I'm in the studio. It's a great byproduct of my job that I get to have brain space available to listen to all sorts of cool things. So I listen to audiobooks, I listen to podcasts, I listen to TED Talks, I listen to YouTubes, I listen to tutorials, basically everything. My favorite genre is naturally zombie apocalypse, but I do branch out. And one of the things that I've been really into lately is anything and everything about the brain and neuroscience and neuropsychology. One person's research that I've been reading a lot is a guy named Rex Young. I'll put some links below to some of his work. He's a neuropsychologist and he studies creativity and intelligence. In his research, he mentions this idea of the tight brain being the intelligent brain and the loose brain being the creative brain. The way he describes it, a tight brain is a fast brain. It's got a lot of processing power. It's literally bigger. There's cortical layers that are thicker. There's more nerve pathways. There's more myelin, which is like the insulation that makes everything to fire really fast. It's kind of like Sherlock Holmes and his mind palace, where he can like go in there and he has all the information all organized and he can like solve crimes in an amazing way.
Something buried deep. Get out.
What?
Get out. I need to go to my mind palace.
His what?
Oh, his mind palace. It's a memory technique, a sort of mental map. You plot a map with a location. It doesn't have to be a real place, and then you deposit memories there. But theoretically, you can never forget anything. All you have to do is find your way back to it.
That's the way the brain works, especially for super intelligent people. You can just store a lot of information and then access a lot of information. I wish I could remember everything that I've read, but I can't. So somebody who has a photographic memory actually can. They can, read something and then they can store it and then they can access it again. So that's an intelligent brain. The creative brain, on the other hand, is frequently considered to be a loose brain. So it actually, and this is something that is just so astonishing to me, the creative brain actually physically looks different than the intelligent brain. And that's not to say these two things don't work together. They do, because everybody has a baseline of intelligence and a baseline of creativity, and we need them both to function. But people who have a developed creative brain have a brain that looks different. And it has to do with less nerve connections, less thickness, and a different structure about how information is accessed. If an NFL player and an NBA basketball player walked into a bar, no, this isn't a joke. What it is you would know the difference. You would know who is who. You would know who's a professional basketball player and you would know who's a professional NFL football player because they look different. They're built different. Apparently, it's the same with our brains. Brains that are, designed to remember everything and be really good at Trivial Pursuit have a certain physical characteristic. Brains that are creatively oriented, are looking for divergent thinking, are open to new ideas, look different. Now, if you, like me, have had different times where you felt blocked, I can almost guarantee that you were relying on your intelligent brain to solve the problem, and you were not relying on your creative brain to solve the problem. And we do, it's not like these things are oppositional necessarily. We use both of them all the time. There is synchronicity, the things work together, and all of it is very mysterious. They know so little about how the brain actually works. But for myself, I know that there is a difference to the times when I am empirically trying to solve a problem based on what I already know versus allowing for solutions that I haven't considered yet and being open to it. Literally feels like things that are floating around in the atmosphere that I can kind of catch, that it doesn't originate from in me. A scientist might say it's my subconscious. I tend to think it's something more than the subconscious, but I can be a little woo-woo sometimes. Don't want to scare you, but sometimes well, let's just say there are a lot of mysteries. There are many mysteries that we haven't solved. And in particular for me, I don't understand how my creative brain works. But I can tell you what it feels like. Remember those books? I think they were called The Magic Eye that, you had when you were a kid, and there was like this complicated pattern, and then you'd like stare at it and you kind of like cross your eyes, and then this 3D pattern would emerge. That's what it feels like for me when I'm switching between my intelligent brain and my creative brain. It has to do with like a loosening of focus. So once again, that fits with the tight versus loose brain. When I'm trying to tap into the flow and into the loose and into the creative and into the open, it's almost like I have to relax my brain muscles, so to speak, and let what come, which is kind of like a dream state, or that's why a lot of people say they have their best ideas in the shower or while they're driving, where they're kind of like in this automatic pilot zone, and then their mind is just able to just have new thoughts, right? We all need the new thoughts. Please tell me what you think about this. Have you experienced this? Have you figured out ways to trigger yourself into that loose brain thinking? Super curious as to your experiences here, so please put them below. If you want to see more of my work, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I'll put those links below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks a lot. Turn off part of my brain. No.
What?